Rule 1. All guns are always loaded. Now I understand that a gun can be unloaded or loaded, but you want the mindset when you're handling a gun that the gun is loaded. This way, it will ensure that you handle the gun with respect and in a manner that it will not be handled in such a way that somebody can get harmed. Rule 2. Never cover anything with the muzzle you're not willing to destroy. Now, the fact that the muzzle exists means that it's covering something 24/7. When it's in my holster, it's covering the ground. When it's sitting in the gun safe, it's maybe covering the back of the safe or the top of the safe. When it's sitting on the nightstand, it's maybe covering the wall or the lamp. Now, do you want to destroy any of these things? Maybe not, but you better be willing to, because should the gun discharge, that's where the round's going to go, and it will destroy whatever it's in its path. Rule 3. Always keep your finger off the trigger until pointed in at the intended target. When you are pointed in at the target you intend to shoot, then your finger should be on the trigger. When you're not on that target, your finger should not be on the trigger. In fact, it should be outside of the trigger guard and up on what we call the reference point. The reference point is a point on the side of the gun that you can feel with your finger that's above the trigger guard. This way, any extra pressure doesn't mean that your finger will accidentally slip down and land on the trigger. You want to keep it outside the trigger guard and up on the reference point until you are pointed in at the target. Rule 4. Always be aware of your target and what's in line with it. We used to say be aware of your target and what's beyond it because, let's face it, most of the time we're shooting something like paper or cardboard, and that bullet's going to poke a hole through there and continue on downrange. So you want to ensure that you have a solid background for the bullet to impact into. But you also want to ensure that nothing can get in between you and the target. You don't want a situation where somebody can walk in between you and the target while you are shooting. You also want to ensure that there are no potential ricochet hazards, something like a rock or a piece of metal, that should you miss and go low or go off to the left or off to the right, that's in between you and the target, that you might hit it and a bullet or some kind of shrapnel can ricochet off that and come back and hit you. So always be aware of your target and what's in line with it. From you to infinity should be clear.